And good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk Real Talk show with Andy Martens and Dolores Feliciano and myself and Molly, Mary Auld-Kovacs from Hamilton. Andy's from the Sioux and Dolores is from New York. Dolores?
Long Island. Yes, Long Island, New
Long
York.
Island,
Yes.
New York. Yes. So we are across the border and we are in Canada as well. Today we have a special show for alienated children born in August. And we also have Andy Martins, who is happy birthday today. So we're going
Yeah.
to sing happy birthday. So happy birthday to you. Come on.
To you. Happy birthday
To
to
you.
you. Happy birthday, dear Andy. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yay. Here's
All
my
right.
birthday party hat. It's Molly, but she's making me wear it. So welcome, alienated
go.
parents, children, guests worldwide. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Real Talk. This is a serious issue, and missing our children on their birthdays is such a heartfelt, um, empty void for us. So we need to find ways to reach out to our children, and this is the only way I could reach out to my daughter, Ashley Margaret Auld. She is 34 years old today, and I've missed 19 birthdays with her, and it's very hard. So I just want to say happy birthday, and I'm going to let Andy and Dolores take over the show while I share this to all the viewers out there. If you have a child that you would like to wish happy birthday to, just write in the comment box, and we'll share it for you live here on Let's Talk Real Talk with Andy and Dolores. Go ahead, Andy.
Yes, we are live, Mary. Thank you very much. And welcome, Dolores from Long Island. In case anybody doesn't know, that's a hop, skip, and a jump from New York City.
Yes, it is. It's about an hour drive.
And there's highways going out there, and a lot of people live on Long Island. I think that they prefer to live on Long Island, Connecticut, or potentially New Jersey, from what I'm gathering.
Yes,
Nobody
that
wants to
is
live in Lower Manhattan. They can't afford to live there.
besides the congestion and the overpopulation. Yes, um, the majority of Long Islanders do travel to the city to work. So this is where the money is that makes the people who work in the
From Long
city, they
Island,
live
yeah.
out in Long Island. Yes, yes, it's
So
been that way for
it's an hour on the highway, eh? Wow.
yeah, that pretty much without traffic. Yes, yeah.
Well, that's right.
So
My
it's
son lives in near Houston, and he lives in Katy, Texas, and he has an hour, 45-minute commute on the highway. That's standard, and that's standard for us in Canada too. When you think the big cities like Toronto, from Scarborough to Mississauga, you've got a 45-minute to an hour commute. It's no different. But yeah, but then in Long Island, you go to the Hamptons. That's a step up even more, isn't it?
Well, that's heading in the other direction. That's heading east.
Oh,
I'm actually in the
oh,
center of Long Island. The
oh,
city is
okay.
west from where I'm at, and the Hamptons is east.
They've got the
So,
best view, and on the island, they've got mega views, I'm sure. Waterfront
well, they
there,
have
and
beautiful. Yeah, they have beautiful views. It all depends on your liking. Not everybody's a beach goer, believe it or not.
no, no,
So,
that's right. So, Dolores, maybe we could start by talking a little bit about your situation and how long have you been an alienated mother?
sure. So,
Before,
my
and then we'll
situation.
get to the birthday things when Mary's completed her sharing. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I am an alienated mother, and my daughter has been alienated from her family, from this side of the family, since she has been 2 years old. The alienation
Wow.
began while she was 2, and through the whole court process, when she became 4, that's when they decided to take her from us,
Right.
unjustifiably. But the alienation had begun at 2, and has been with her all through her childhood and life.
And how old
So
is your daughter now?
she will be 16 next month.
Wow, that's a long time, just like Mary's.
Yes, yes,
Like,
very long time, very long time. However, the last birthday celebration that I gave to her was a COVID parade back in 2018. She had turned 12, and
right,
that was the first time she had seen me and family and friends since 8 years. And after that COVID parade, they had illegally left the state. And this
oh,
is
wow.
one of the tactics of parental alienation.
Yes,
Yes,
Mhm.
we've
it's a
heard that
way
time.
to.
Mary and I have heard that time and time again. And
Yes, yes, you're coming up a little choppy, but we'll get you.
oh, was
So
it? Okay.
that's why I decided. Yeah, you're better now. So it's been very difficult actually, there's no contact whatsoever. Won't go into the legality, or I should say the illegality of what transpired, but she has been now out of state for now 3 years. However, through my searching and determination and perseverance, I now know where she is at, and FERPA Rights has me in her schools academically. So at this point, she knows that I'm still here, reaching out to her and checking up on her, her
Right.
academics in school. So, but it's very difficult when it comes to the birthdays, as we all know, and that's why I came up with this idea for parents, moms, dads, grandparents, family, whose child they are alienated from, and to give a birthday wish online. I mean, this is one of the best ways we can use the social media to help us in that way. Because believe it or not, whether we don't have contact or visuals, verbal, these children have ways of looking onto the internet, uh, and finding they have their ways. So we're just hoping that they're watching, and moms and dads could just put a
Well,
word out to
it's
them about the birthday.
very simple, Dolores. All she would need to do is Google your name and the Andy Martin show, and then it would come up.
Well, I hope and pray that is it. Unfortunately, this is the thing: when children are young, we're always taught to have them call us mom and dad, right? We don't tell them to call us by our first names. So when the process of parental alienation starts, the manipulating the child, they only know so much about their mom and dad. So
Right.
in the long process of the legal system, well, I should say illegal system, they purposely procrastinate and adjourn these court cases, so that lengths of time passes, and it's a way to separate the child from the parent. So the longer that the parent is separated from the other parent, the longer that they become separated from them, the longer that they forget things about them, their names, their addresses, and it's diabolical. It really is. It's a planned system geared to divide the families. Um, Planned system to keep the mother and father separated and constantly battling. And it's weaponizing children. It's weaponizing children, and
Right.
it's a travesty. It really is. So we can only hope that through ways as they get older, they know our names or come to know our names, or maybe somebody out there recognizes me and says, "Hey, is that your mom?" Or, I created a journal for my daughter years ago, back in 2016, uh, a way to reach out to her via internet. I created a journal specifically for her, a day-to-day journal dedicated to her from her mother with unconditional love. And all she has to do is type in her name, and it should pop up so where she could see it. I can only hope that she does find it. But these are ways that we can reach out to the children, and they're watching. They're watching.
That's right.
So,
I believe that as well. Mary's kids are watching too. I think.
All the time. And it's not just the children, it's the flying monkeys all watch. They
oh yes,
screenshot
they're
they
watching too.
screenshot everything we do, and then they send it to court as if we were abusing our children, but what we're doing is displaying the effects of what these children are going through, because some of my photos that I had gotten off my children's Facebook page, which were allowed onto their page, underage drinking, drugs and all that, sexual promiscuous photos, and it was really sad that the flying monkeys turned me in because I screenshotted them. But you know what? It just goes to show that these people are seriously damaged, that they really see things differently than we do. And all they want to do is keep destroying these kids by saying, oh, your mom's sharing your pictures. Oh, how bad of her to do that. But we're trying to bring our kids closer to us. And I'm not sharing my kids' pictures in a bad way. I'm giving them, advice and loving them the way I had to love them all their lives. And when you got to do it on social media, it's hard because no matter how we do it, we're still going to get punished, abused, slandered. It's damned if we do and damned if we don't. And if we don't, they're going to think we don't care. But if we do, they don't want us to care. But it's their way of saying, help me, help me, help me. This is what I see in our kids that have been alienated, and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing because they know that they weren't supposed to do it. So they want us to jump in and kind of help them through the way of, I don't know. This is how I see it. What do you think, Andy? I mean,
Well,
you were telling us, well, I don't want to say it, but I mean, you're a grandfather now. Have you seen your grandchild?
I have not. Until I heard from my son today. He's been sending my wife pictures all along. I didn't think it would happen today, but it did. And I'm hoping. You see, my idea of it is that alienation can happen if somebody doesn't want. Uh, some things don't go their way. They can retaliate with alienation. And this is something I didn't know. On top of everything else, one spouse retaliating against another spouse, that's one thing. But children can retaliate where alienation has never been, in fact, has never happened. I've been with my wife for 40 years, and it's never happened because they use it as a retaliation tool. So now things have settled down, and I'm hoping for the best in terms of being able to reconnect with my son. But this has given me ideas, and I wish I could do it for every alienated parent out there. But we're going to start to bring it forth with Mary's kids, and because I'm seeing some light at the end of the tunnel with my wife's sister's kids, and the husband is sick now with Parkinson's. So she's been alienated from her children for 20 years too. So I have some ideas that may work, and we're gonna try those, and because it can be reversed if they
It can
want
be.
to. It's all mind control. It's in yes or no. It's like a light switch, Mary. Am I wrong?
No, you're right, because it happened to me. I was alienated from my father for 40 years. Not only my stepmother kept me from my father, but my ex-husband kept me from my father. You know, he took us across the world so I would never see my family. But after 40 years, I reconnected with my father, but he was on his deathbed. And that's
Well,
what I
that's
don't want.
precisely the story, Mary. The story is to your children. Do you want to see your mother and connect with her on her deathbed? No, you don't.
No. And
That's the key that's going to open the door right now.
that's right. And if they do say yes, you know they have been severely traumatized and alienated, because no adult child would say that. I mean, what,
No.
or an alienated adult child would not say that. I would never say, "Oh, I'm not going to see you, Dad, until you're on your deathbed." I would never say, like, wanna, if someone told me, "Would you want to wait that long?" I said, "No, I would love to see my father today." I mean, when I heard he was on his deathbed, it killed me inside, and it made me feel like, wow, it's all my fault because he wanted to see me, but I kept refusing only because I knew I would be punished if I did see him, because then I would lose another parent. So these are what I know, what these alienated children are going through. And, you know, I was married to an alienated adult child who never had a father either. And I know the pain he went through every time he saw someone, his friends, having a father at the party or whatever. They're hugging and they're kissing, but he never had that opportunity. It's a void these alienated children are missing, and they can't get past it. They will never get past it. So
Where was your mother though? Was she handcuffed about reconnecting with your father earlier? Was she was not allowed to uh, make that happen?
no, because my dad had multiple affairs on my mother. So my
Right.
mother, you know, she kind of pushed us away from our father too, because we had to help my mom. My father had money. He was so loaded that, you know, but he left my mother poor and gave everything to the mistresses. And it wasn't just one, it was multiple. My dad's only been dead 4 years, but you know, the truth comes out. I love my dad. He never hurt me. um, how he treated my mother was wrong. And this is what happens. A lot of the alienating parents will have affairs and blame the other parent for it. I mean, my mother was a saint to my dad, but
Wow.
she had too many children to take care of, and missed my father missed the love that he was getting from her, because we all got bigger, we all needed different things. And you know, my dad just decided to go and abandon us. I was 22, but still, you know, I had five younger brothers. So they all missed out on a father through their teenage life and their earlier life, but they reconnected after, you know, 10, 15 years, because the business was in my family's name. So my brothers started getting closer to my dad more so than me. But at the end, we all found him on his deathbed, because for 10 years, his mistress married him for his money and put a court order on us, restraining order, that we can never come near our father. And then my mom got the call. My mom told us that your father's on his deathbed, and it was the other woman that contacted my mother. And you know, that's kind of it. They don't stop hurting you. I mean, she should have called us, the kids, instead of my mother. And but my mother did the right thing. She called us, told us, you know, your father's dying. You better go see him. And that was kind of a relief, because now we didn't feel like we were hurting my mom by betraying her, by taking, you know, steps towards my dad. So both of the women let go of their hatred or whatever. And us kids got to see my dad. But my father miraculously came off life support and lived 5 years extra. So we were all
Did
there
the
for 5 years.
did the mistress give in the end? He let you
Oh,
see. He let you see
he,
your father.
we had to sneak into the hospital. It was Toronto Downsview rehab. My dad lived there for 6 years. We had to sneak in because she told the hospital we were not allowed in. We had no rights to make any decisions about our father. So what um the room my father's roommates, he had five. They're whoever was taking care of their kids or whoever was in the room would say, "Oh, you know what? Mary's coming to visit my son or my husband. She's allowed in the room." So I got to be in the room with my father because the other
Son.
patients stood up. And I took my horn. We went down to the gymnasium. We put on big musical events. Some of them came down with their guitar, their harmonicas. These are people in palliative care. I'm there for 5 years every week, bringing these people to life. It was something else. And then at the end, my father passed away, and his new wife didn't tell me. I had to find out by someone else. She wouldn't let us go to the funeral. I had to plan a whole new funeral. Um, we had to force the funeral home to let us in to do it. They gave us 30 minutes.
Yeah,
30
this is
minutes.
typical behavior of control. It happens
Yes.
Yeah,
in many
yeah.
families, many families.
And my wife's brother, who alienated my wife's sister's kids, didn't allow the other kids to go to the mother's funeral either in Aurora,
Sad, very
Ontario.
sad, very sad.
Yeah. My
Dolores,
ex,
was your story similar to that? Or?
Well, my story happens to be revolved around status, authoritative status that was favored. Um, my daughter's father married himself his former college girlfriend, who was a retired NYPD officer. So you have good and bad in everything, right? You have good and bad cops, you have good and bad doctors, good and bad lawyers, good and bad nurses, on and on and on. And this one knew the ins and outs of this fake system called family court, and through either rage or jealousy or whatever her reason was, uh, put false allegations on me and started the whole court process by putting false allegations. And once you're in the system, that's it.
Mhm.
Mary, that
I
sounds
had
familiar.
yeah, it's very sad, especially people have asked me, do you think it would have continued if she hadn't step parents? And I do this because a lot of the times these step or other relationship spouses become involved, and they get too involved. They come in between the mother and the father of the child. And this particular case, when they have authoritative status and they know people within the system, they're favored upon. So whatever things that they do wrong, in this case, the allegations that were put upon me were actually done by them. And it's a whirlwind, when you try to prove the allegations and your child's hurt and demise, and it's being covered up because the other one has authoritative status. It's very difficult, very difficult,
Mhm.
and everything gets swept underneath the rug for years and years, and it gets drawn out and drawn out, and the one that's hurting the most is your child, my child.
That's
So
right.
luckily for me, and they'll go through any lengths to stop you from seeing the child or vice versa. I mean, they'll go as far as putting a false court order of protection, a temporary, to make it more difficult. They'll throw obstacles before you, hoops and hurdles, just to make it more difficult for you, in hopes that you would either give up, go broke, go mad,
Die.
or even worse.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I hold a vigil that I do, Andy. I hold vigil at the family courts for all the past, present, and future children and their target innocent parents who have succumbed to the legal abuse of the system. And I'm there to give comfort to the parents that are going in and coming out. I, Mary, Andy, I can't tell you, by the end of the day, I am filled, I'm so drained just from the emotion that the hugging them and giving them my energy. They just run to me, men, daddies and mommies and grandmas and aunts and friends, and they see, oh, you offer, I'll take a free hug. And I offer tea, I offer compassion, I offer them my experience. I tell them, I offer them my sympathy, my empathy, my understanding, and I also offer them information, knowledge about what to expect, what not to expect. They're looking for someone to, you know, to understand what they're going through. That's basically when they come onto my signs. They say, you know what, you're so right. This is what I'm going through right now. Could you tell me where could I go? Who do I talk to? What can I do? And I just basically show them my experience of what I've done. It's a system that is a racketeering business. It's a revolving door. Unfortunately, the children are the ones to hurt the most. Even the children. I'm watching them not wanting to go in. They're being literally dragged in. They're crying not to want to go inside. They're being picked up. And they come out with such long faces. And I, too, of them for the children, I hand out homemade hearts made with strings on them, and I give out stickers to comfort them. And I know I can't take their pain away, but for that one moment, that 1 second, if I could put a smile on the face, that's all that matters. To
It's
let
all
them
that
know
matters.
someone cares. To let them know someone cares. And believe it or not, people are learning so much. Um, the peace officers are kind to me. The officers the sheriffs that are there are kind. They let me do my vigil. I light candles, battery operated or, battery operated. I have my signs up and I sit there and I comfort them. And I don't approach them. I'm not a reporter. I'm not in their faces. I allow them to come to me if they like. And believe it or not, I'd say maybe a total of 8 to 10 a day when I go sit vigil. I have 8 to 10 people approaching me and asking questions, and they're learning a lot about parental alienation. They are.
A
And
lot of them don't know when they go into the courtrooms, they have no idea what's happening.
no,
It's
no,
like the rug was pulled out from underneath them. So when they
yes.
see you outside the door and they wonder, wow, what just happened in there? And to have a supporter outside that door knowing exactly what they went through is
Oh,
probably
yes.
the biggest support they could ever have, because
Oh,
you've got
yes.
all these other people, the judges, the lawyers, the police officers, the CAS, they're all snickering behind your back as you're walking out. Cha-ching, cha-ching, money, money, money.
Exactly. That's exactly what
300,
it is. And
yeah, because
and
it's
they look forward.
$350,000 a child, dead or alive,
Mhm.
through the court system a year.
Yeah. They actually look forward to coming out to my table. They say that, I noticed when I was walking in, because they're all timed to be in a certain, to be in there at a certain time. So they see my tables, they see my signs, they see my posters, they see me wearing them, they see me walking about, they see me giving vigil. And when they come out, they go, I saw you as I was going in, and I just had to come over to you. But every sign you have tells my story. And I said, yes. I said, I'm here to comfort you. I said, would you like a hug? And they give hugs. I got tissues for them. I wish I'm doing for them what I had wanted when I was going through it. When I came out, I was scared. I was traumatized. I felt bullied. I felt humiliated. I felt degraded. I felt, I, I can't even find the words sometimes. It just, I felt there was such evil in those walls there. And I was reaching, and when I walked out, I'm like, who can I go to? Like, who can I run to? Who's here to comfort me? And thankfully, my faith, I'm very strong in my faith. And, I found the courage within me. I wore the
Mm-hmm.
armor of God every time I went back. And every time I went back, I became stronger and stronger. And I educated myself. And this is what I tell them. I acted, spoke like, ate, slept, drank, walked, talked, dressed like an attorney, walked in there. I knew my rights. I studied. I knew my constitutional rights, my amendment rights. I came to learn a lot about what they're keeping from us. And knowledge is power. And the more that I became knowledgeable, the more they became, or they should say, they felt threatened by me. So, right. And the more that they attacked me and my family. And it's a vicious place. It's not a friendly place. It's definitely not a safe place, in my opinion, for the family, as it's reared up to be. It's an entity that was created, as I said last time we were together. It was not voted in by the people. It was created for the government, just to profit, and the children
Right.
are suffering. And it's generational. It's generational.
Yeah.
I've seen
64
people.
years. 64 years for my ex-husband. Imagine that.
I've seen people that I've known maybe 2 decades ago that knew me. I seen them walking in the building and they never recognized me. It's like, oh my goodness, is that so and so? And it goes to show you that, folks, if you think it's not in your backyard, one day it's gonna be through your lineage. Either your cousins going through it, your grandchildren are going to go through it, your niece, your nephew, a friend of a friend, a coworker, someone in their lineage. You think it's not happening to you, it's going to happen to someone that you know. Because
That's right.
the system is geared that way. The system is geared to pick one side, and it's usually the parent that's fighting for the rights of a child. And the one who's going to fight, not so much fight, defend the rights of the child, to defend the children. Those are the ones who are being attacked. And they teach people how to be bad. They're picking one side. These attorneys, they tell them, if you do it this way, you'll get this. I mean, I hear parents coming out of there and they're making deals with their attorneys. It's sad. It's so sad. It's disgusting. But
you're not far from that.
There is a light at the tunnel. There is, and it's us. It's us. It's us who are the survivors, who are coming out and bringing this to light. And we are educating people. We are teaching them. My hope is that we advocates, activists, are able to reach out to the younger generations before they decide to become parents themselves, so
right.
that they know what's ahead of them and they know what to look out for. And it's sad.
That is so true.
We have Miss Autumn Maytox in the house. Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Autumn.
Hi, Autumn.
Yeah.
And
Autumn was a guest on our show a few months ago. She is also from the U.S. and
from San Diego, I believe.
Yes, I think San Diego.
Oh, well, welcome, San Diego. Welcome.
Autumn says, "Happy birthday, Andy."
Yeah, thank you, Autumn. Appreciate it. I'm only 42.
And you look great.
Don't let the hair fool you. I'm just doing it for a movie.
You look great. You look great. Well, we're happy to see you, Autumn, and please share this.
Yeah.
We are We are
We
we
put
are
hot air in here,
celebrating.
Andy.
Yeah.
We are celebrating all August children, alienated children whose birthdays are celebrated in August. And I'm wearing emerald green for the gemstone, and we're just giving happy birthday wishes. And so, if you
But
parents
you know,
out there,
Dolores, it's a bonus when I was actually born on a Sunday. The same
oh,
calendar was used in the year I was born. So that's
Nice.
kind of neat. Yeah.
Okay, sit down.
But yeah.
we got Miss Molly's tail is waving in the camera. Hey,
She's
Miss
saying
Molly,
hi. She's saying hi to everybody out there.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I was born in Women's College Hospital. Mary probably knows where that is in college in Bay Area in Toronto.
Wow, wow.
Yes, yes, I do. That's
Well, I
down
hope
by
you.
the beaches, is it?
No, college in Young, college in Bay,
College.
and
That's
downtown.
right. That's right. Yes.
So for
Sorry.
any alienated parents out there watching, this one's for your child who was born in the month of August, August 1st through the 31st, right? There's 31 days in August, right?
That's right,
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
So we're celebrating. If you want to throw out, if you want to type in your child's name on the screen to wish them a happy birthday, from the 1st of August to the 31st, we are wishing all children born in the month of August a very happy, blessed birthday. And we'll be doing this every month to
Great.
celebrate.
I'm fully supportive of that too. Wonderful. Mary, was your daughter's birthday today as well? Wow.
Yes.
I'm just going to post it. Yes, I have two daughters born the same day, 4 years apart. My first child, Nevaeh Sarah, she passed away through mercy killing by the alienated father who didn't want to raise a sick child. So he forced her death while she was still inside of me. At 34 weeks, I gave birth to my child, and she took her last breath at 11:11 that morning on the 29th of August, and she's been asleep since. And then 4 years later, I gave birth to a child who was 3 weeks late, and she waited for that day. So there's something special about the two of them, because
Wow.
child, my child that's dead has led me here all these years to keep my children, um, to let me know what they're doing. I find them through videos that just pass by. Like there's just so much spiritual meaning to how my dead child helps me find my alienated children. So a shout out to both of my daughters, Nevaeh Sarah and my Ashley Margaret. Happy birthday to you
Happy
both.
birthday. Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday to baby
Thank
in
you.
heaven. Happy birthday, Margaret, wherever you are. Your mother loves you, and I know you love her dearly. Just happy birthday.
41. I like Autumn's thinking. But Dolores, I wanted to know, like, and I ask a lot of people this question. With your ex, it must have been happy in the beginning. Um, or, so this is the problem. People hide things behind people's backs, and they're not honest. They're compulsive lying or whatever. And you must have been happy at the beginning, albeit probably a short time.
Well, the key word was short, and yes, I thought I was. We had come together after being separate for 20 years. We had
Right.
dated back when we were younger, and life, went our separate ways, and life went about, and when we came back together again, I thought things, he had a loss in his family, and I just we thought it. I thought it would be. We both thought it would be good to come together. However, I later found out that it was not what I thought it was. And what I mean is that it was a plan to come together and to get back at me for leaving him from way back when we were younger. I know that sounds terrible, but
See, that was
it's
the point I brought
it's a,
out with my son earlier. Retaliation leads to parental,
yeah,
not parental, well, parental alienation, but alienation of every kind, if I could say it
yes.
that way.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
When having been with him, I realized that there were many issues that he hasn't resolved, and I tried to assist him with that, but he wasn't open. So that escalated to me seeing more of an issue, and so I severed the relationship, the engagement, and that's where the more retaliation came in. And then
Right.
I later found out that he had already planned on, or had already planned on being with this other person, whom he dated back when in college, and was a retired NYPD officer, and who wanted to be back with him. So I really don't think the intentions to be with me was all that true.
No, and I
And I
agree.
only
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
so I didn't find that
No,
out until after everything was over and done with. Maybe a part of me didn't want to believe it. I'll be honest. Another part was shocked that I was going through it. But it escalated to where I had to do the most, well, gut wrenching thing. When someone pushes you, or tries to threaten you, it becomes a little bit scary, um, especially when you have young ones around. Um,
right.
my daughter came into this world, I do believe, just like you, Mary. My daughter, my little girl, my youngest daughter, she was coming to this world for a reason. And as much as I don't want to say this, but I do now, I think there's a reason for her being here. And I think, as awful as it may sound, maybe we had to go through this in order for this to happen.
Hmm.
And it's everything happens for a reason, the good and the bad. And it was a sacrifice. Not many people make it through this. That's why I hold a vigil. A lot of parents are not able to hold on, and the worst happens. They take their life. And sometimes you don't hear that on the news. You don't
No,
hear
Dolores, to have you and me out here and all the other advocates that are advocating today, 10, 20 years ago, we didn't have all the media that we had. We didn't have internet 30 years ago, 40 years ago to what we're doing. So what we are in here, we were put here for a reason because we have all the resources. We have
yes.
all the evidence. We have the children, our damaged children. We see, we know, and they see and they know what they've done to our children. So now they're trying to silence us. So to
Oh
do
yeah.
these podcasts, we're not doing anything bad. We're not slamming anybody. You're here to celebrate birthdays once a month. We are so grateful for you to come out to bring us a little joy out here for the alienated children. So we're raising more awareness where the courts are scared of us. We want to put cameras back into courts, which we need. And I want to ask you, what's your perception on cameras in the court?
Well, the perception is that they already have cameras in the courts, except
But they
they're
don't
not
use
for
them.
it's
They're
not
not.
for us.
It's
It's
not
for
for
them.
us.
And
Yes.
right. And our constitutional rights is not being addressed, and in these institutions, it's unconstitutional. First of all, um, it's a corporate house, it's a corporate business. But back onto what you said, yes, cameras, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, look at the cameras we see on TV. These these jurors and these cases are being shown on television. On television. You can't tell me that we're not allowed to have cameras in the courts when they already have them.
Look,
It's just
it.
it's they don't want to be viewed on our cameras because everything is done behind closed doors. It's done in secrecy, and that's illegal. It's
Right.
unconstitutional.
That's right.
They don't want us to know their tricks and their antics.
Yeah, they don't want to
And
be held accountable for anything they've
right,
done. I want Andy to read this for us. Or can you see
I
that,
can read
Andy?
it. Yeah, I can read it for you. On my way to Targeted Action 2024 in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm passing out your petition, guys. I volunteered as a team leader.
Right
wonderful,
on, Autumn. Thank you so much,
wonderful.
Autumn. Uh, Dolores, can you read this one for us?
Oh, certainly. James Fiegel. Hello, brother. Hello. Investigate Judge Hughes, Part 10, second floor, 400 Carlton Avenue, Central Islip, New York. Closing the court to court watchers and the public, while allowing any and all attorneys not directly involved with the case to stay. And get this, Judge Hughes cites Catherine B. 189 second, which is to stop a child to be embarrassed due to certain facts. So why in the world would Judge Hughes allow any attorney that is not directly involved with the case to stay? Shame, shame. But
Absolutely.
this is the game that they play. It's their rules. Um, and the peace officers in there, they have a job to keep the peace, and to protect, but it's not to protect us, we the people. It's to protect
That's
the
them.
players of the court. And
Yes.
I can't even call it respectively a court. It's not, in my eyes. It's not. It's definitely not for family. That's just a facade. Um, it's it's unconstitutional. It should, in my opinion, it should just be abolished. It wasn't made for us. It wasn't made for family. It was made
No,
specifically to divide and conquer and
absolutely.
to use the children as a weapon.
Yes.
And it's a revolving door, like you said, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's funny how you say that because on my videos, on my visual, I put the camera to the parking lot. And on a Friday, I remember way back when, decade ago, when I was attending, on a Friday would be maybe quarter of the parking lot filled, right? Not today. Today you see it packed. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
packed as if it were a Monday.
It's a
I mean, it's
business.
just
It's
every
a
car
business.
is cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like it's unbelievable. It's just diabolical. And
It's
it's
insane.
everything's coming out. It's coming out to the surface. People are becoming more aware. People are waking up to it and they're running scared, in my opinion. And they're
Yes.
trying to get as much as they can to rake in before this whole shuts down. Because I
Yes.
really do believe that's what's coming.
Well,
That's what's
Mary and
coming.
I have to be careful on what we say. We have a big interview coming up this week, and you will see what it's all about after we do it on Wednesday at some point. But yeah, it's a very tricky issue. I think it's a similar situation in Canada.
Oh, it's worldwide, Andy. This is going in the UK as well. This is
Right.
a worldwide pandemic of its own, and it's been
Yep.
happening since Plato. It's been happening since
I,
Plato.
I've
It's
seen it
it's
when I lived in Europe in the 80s.
Yeah.
I've
oh
seen
yeah,
it all over Europe, not just in where I lived in Germany, but I've seen it in Hungary and my own
Oh,
family in Hungary. And, every country I went to, I see people sad because they don't get to see their kids.
well,
It,
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
It's horrifying.
Divorce just didn't happen in the last 50 years.
No.
My great grandmother got divorced and was a single mother when my grandmother was born in 1910. So, I mean, that's going back almost 100 years,
Oh yeah.
to
Well,
over
think about
100
it.
years ago.
And when you think about it, they didn't have courts back then. They didn't have divorce. They didn't have the issues that are going on today. It's a way they derive. Like I said, they made this system to just profit off of it. It's a way
Yes,
for
they
them to,
embellished on
let's
profit.
let's make the public think and believe that they can come to us for help in deciding what to do with their families, to fix the families. And when you think about it, no one can really fix your family except yourself.
No, that's right.
They're not, they're not in it. They don't know what's going on. They just put players on to take it. And these law guardians, they have no business in our children's lives. They're just a mediator to the judge. That's it. And
Hmm.
these affiliates are enabling. They are enabling parental alienation.
Yes.
We have we have an attorney now here in the States who is trying to he's come forth already making a case, I think in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, where he was able to find make a case law, and found a mother guilty of parental alienation, and she did 15 days. And it's these judges and these courts are not allowing it to be made a crime, because if you made it a crime, we wouldn't have these problems, would we? We wouldn't have this podcast right now.
And then
So-
everybody would bring it back to court of what they went through previous.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a snowball effect. And you know what? We should bring them all back. They've tortured us. They've damaged us. They abused us. We get accused of fake abuse, and yet they're doing the real abuse. I mean,
Yeah,
how does that? Where's the constitutional right to the person that is fighting for their life, but they can't fight because they have no evidence that they didn't do it? But
Well,
yet
that's
the court can make up evidence and say you did do it.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the
I
hard
believe
part.
juries. We need juries back.
Yes.
Juries
Juries.
by the people. That's what they're trying to. Like in my case, I've had 2 trials that never came to be because they just procrastinate. They'll do anything not to have a jury. And we should have juries for trial. But this is the thing. Family court is not a criminal court. And this is what they'll say. If you have a crime, it has to be dealt with in criminal court, not family court. So what is going to make something a crime in family court? They don't.
Nothing.
Well, I was in
Exactly.
criminal court. I beat the charges in criminal court, 2 of them. I was in prison twice, falsely arrested. By the time I got to family court, a month after I was cleared innocent, the family court judge still condemned me, knowing that I was freed the month prior. All charges dropped. There were no evidence at all. And the Justice Taylor.
I believe your case was also a high conflict case and status orientated.
Status quo, yes. And Justice Taylor said, when Mary proves her innocence, she will get everything. And I said, I did. It's even in the transcript where I said, my voice came out on the transcript. One word I got to say. Yes, I'm innocent, right? And he didn't care. He still called the father a conniving, scheming, manipulative liar, and had no doubt he set me up, but he gets the house and kids and don't pay support until the house does. Now, this was to bring me back to court, to take all my money. It wasn't bad enough that, I was court ordered to pay all his bills with my medical health care. He got to evade taxes for 3 years. He got to not pay corporate credit cards from GM. I had to pay all that kind of stuff. And, when a judge depletes your account, And by the time you go back to court, you've got nothing, and then the judge won't let you in because you can't afford your lawyer. So
Trust
they
me,
drain you.
Yeah, exactly. It's made to either make you go broke, make you go mad, or even worse. It took my entire life savings.
Mine too. I'm here retired now. Everything's been put into the family court system to my
I
kids
lost
because
everything.
they kept bringing me back for money over the years. They didn't want to see me, but they saw me in court asking for more money, was suing me for
Yeah.
more. That's not how a
Unfortunately,
child should be, growing up to become an adult, to learn how to manipulate the court system by taking that other parent to court saying, you didn't want anything to do with me, so give me $100,000. And it's like, well, the courts are allowing my kids to blackmail me? Really?
Wow. To all the
Yeah.
children out there, if you're watching, that is not the case, and you shouldn't believe that. Okay.
Yeah.
Your parents are doing what they can to be in your life despite everything you're being told, and we understand it's very difficult for you. You're placed in a predicament, and depending on your age, you're having a tough time because you feel you're stuck, and it's understood. And just know that we love you, and we're here, and we're always going to be here unconditionally. Love should be unconditional. If you don't know what unconditional means that there's no condition. In other words, there's no promises. We'll get, I'll love you if you do this. That's not love.
That's
I'll
not
love you
love.
if you don't
No.
say that. That's not love.
No.
Unconditional means through your good days and your bad days, no matter what you're feeling or what you're saying. That's unconditional love. And everybody deserves
Love
Yes.
is also loving the person just the way they are and not
just the
criticizing.
way they are.
Yeah,
That's
In and
right.
out.
exactly. Well,
That's right.
we're
Even
at
now.
the 50. We're almost at an hour here. We were going to make an early show tonight, but it didn't work out. So there's always so much to say.
I have
But
a brownie
I'm
and
going to give
candles.
you one last word to end the show to both of you. Go ahead, Dolores. Give us.
Let me go. I have a brownie sundae, and I want to light the candles and blow them out.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
So, Andy, yeah, we have a big week coming up.
We
Been
do,
supporting
yeah,
you.
really big. I mean, I've been doing interviews for a long time, and this is as big as it gets. And again, just like
All right.
your children, just give me a second, Dolores. Just like your children, you don't know what you can achieve to break the brainwashing unless you go there. You don't know what you can achieve, and we've made it, but we can't talk about it until it's done, and it
Leader,
will
yeah.
happen this week.
Yes.
So
But
I
we
just
are
wanted.
getting, oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Mary. Yeah.
But we are getting further ahead because, if we go visit our constituents, like how I went to see Premier Doug Ford to present them with the issues of cameras in the court. Well, it snowballed, and now we've got it going worldwide. So, we could do this. We can do this if we all do it together.
That's
There's
right.
a
I just
whistling in that program.
yeah. So you hear whistling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Don't
just
you?
No,
wanted
those are crickets. Those are my crickets in the background. I have the windows are open.
The birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the patrons. Okay.
So here, I think
Go
what you're
ahead,
saying is very
Dolores.
important. Things are becoming to light, and it's good that you're pushing the issue with cameras in the court. The key thing is that not many people know about it. So the more education that we tell people, the more that they understand, and the more that they're willing to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
So here is to you, Andy, and to all of the children who were born in the month of August. We wish you a very happy, healthy, blessed birthday. May you have joy. May you have peace. May you have fun. Okay? You want to say a wish?
Happy
Andy,
birthday
make a wish.
Yeah. I can't blow the candles out. I'm too far.
I'll blow it. We'll all blow together, right? You want to say something, Mary? Mary, you want to
Happy
say something?
birthday to all the alienated children out there, parents, grandparents, anyone celebrating a birthday this August. You know, it's important to feel loved, and you are loved. Never forget that. So, from Let's
That's
Talk
right.
Real Talk, till next time, happy birthday. And thank you, Dolores and Andy Martins. Ready? One, two,
1,
three.
2, 3. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Uh, and I just wanted to say this one thing. We talked about unconditional love. Mary, your ex, and Dolores, your ex, did not love you, not even close to unconditional love, because this would have never happened had it been the case.
No,
Had he
Thank
no.
you,
loved you
Andy.
unconditionally.
Yeah, he only married me for his own profits.
That's
Yeah,
right.
And
yeah,
And, and
we only became engaged because I do believe he wanted to have revenge, and
yeah,
this is not love. That's not love, children. That is not
yeah.
love.
and
Mind
Anyway,
you,
false
yeah,
allegations are a big part of why the brainwashing too, I believe, for your children. It's all filled with false allegations. That's an ingredient into the brainwashing.
absolutely. So until next time, we'll see you on Tuesday with Yanni Kuhn at 1 p.m. with Andy Martins and myself on Let's Talk Real Talk. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
good
Bye.
night.